Hi boys and girls, it's Miss Reynolds with B.O.R.E.D Better Off Reading Every Day. And what is today? Oh, that would be Poetry Fridays. Yes, it is. Another fabulous week has ended, and we are ending it in our pajamas reading some poetry. We read children's books all weeks. Now it's time to relax. Can you feel it? Today's book is Punetry by T.W. Kepler and Jessica Kepler. Punetry. Puns have far more potential than is reflected by the overly emphasized corners of cringe to which they are too often confined. They can be silly and fun, but the core of their utility is to add dimensions to a sentence, as space to inject further or even hidden meaning. The subtlety and tone which that meaning is delivered depends on the expectations of the intended audience, which, like many of society's social assumptions, are subject to change. T.W. Kepler. That is the foreword. Cider Boys. Twice Shy is the name of this one. Twice Shy. Dipping in the water, bitten. Dripping with leftover, smitten. Tripping on my face is written. Shipping me and one who's quitting. Pink, then blue. Now I'm marooned, sinking through the high winds, monsoon. Drink and croon beneath the moon, shrinking hopes she'll be home soon. Sever hopes we can amend, never I swallower bend. Ever am I on the mend, clever, learn and don't deepen. Love letters. Distance was the death of us. We said we'd keep in touch. Tear-stained letters, lonely nights would prove to be too much. I didn't want to let you go, and still I can't find ease. All I've now are these letters and sweet bitter memories. These I should have years ago, in some dark corner shoved. But the hardest letter to put down is the D when writing loved. Dependence. Silence weighs on me tonight, a pressure in my head. Though tried and sorry sight, I cannot go to bed. Inklings guide me to escape this hole when it caves in. Breathe in deep, my hands a shake, reach for my favorite pen. But it's not there. Confound it. Where? Not this worn tale again. Paper portals promise air for those who dare to scratch them. Desperate I search through her things. Old memories grow strong. They drag out what was once her ring. They play our favorite song. But empty hearts are heaviest, and soon I must lie down to think about the pensive loss and which she was found. Forever endeavor, forever and ever our love was to last. So where are you now? The question I ask. To never deceiver, the tallest of task. I hopped on, so giddy, was tied to the mast. Not though over or clever, away was I cast. Our forever endeavors confined to the past. When morning comes, no one asked the night to fall, but no longer could it stand, could not watch us a loving light, see us kissing, holding hands. My shadow swallowed by the dark, left me alone and numb. Adaptable I'd always been, but I couldn't see to run. When morning comes, I won't return. The gentle sun's hello, I will not feel its loving glows, sweet beams of healing yellow. I'll taste the times I wasn't there, for you mistakes I made. I won't be real, not as I'd been. I'll have begun to fade. Melancholy flower. Hardest of plants it grows, in patterns undefined, liquids as it molds itself to each pacific mind, starting as a seed of doubt and sprouting in the cracks, whispering up like is made, life is made of all those things you lack. Sunlight doesn't do too much to help its blue vines grow. Cased in cell walls growing thick, you always feel alone. Though helping hands and support might tug you from its grasp, late at night you may find still you hear its toxic rasp. Don't be shy. Do seek advice. Never doubt the power of our growing enemy, the melancholy flower. The holy tabernacle. The usual for me. I say as it settled in my seat. I say as I settle in my seat. It's been another grueling day, making money in the heat. But here, at least we can relax, get off our aching feet. The jukebox has some great soundtracks, and the waitress is real sweet. In the holy tabernacle, no one ever feels estranged. For us, it is a time capsule where things don't ever change. Just have some drinks and fade away, sobriety exchanged. For brighter thoughts, a healthy sway, and friends who don't have names. They're sure to have your favorite brew. Myself, I love Full Moon. But nothing fruity, I should think, lest you're like to get lampooned. Once we're all drunk, we'll start to sing. It'll be jolly tune to help forget the suffering that we'll return to soon. Rock bottom. Constant stress my life persuades. Though problems often minor, do keep in mind all in my head. I'd loathe to be a whiner. Pick my brain and ask me why. I dig at my own soul. Hills morph into mountains when you think yourself a mole. Prophets changing. Recently, a tunnel towards good health. A gopher dreams and worn my way to a whole new veins of wealth. Drained. Lying in the bathtub, he thinks nothing at all. His phone has drowned beside him. Just so tired of the calls. Red eyes are glued to belly lint. Naval navy barely floats. Despite the waves assailing it, he yearns to see it soaked. Tomorrow he will suck it in, dress slacks and parted hair. But he knows it won't be long till he comes up for air, drained. Scarfing. Some mornings I scarf up, tight cloth wound around the neck. If I look outside and snow by flies, I'll scarf up, sure as heck. But often in the evening, wrapped up in woolen life, toss off, run to the fridge and scarf down what's in sight. Two silly songs. Here's the picture from Silly Songs. The illustrations in this book are beautiful. Maxed out. The alchemist was quite distraught. Why was he not content? Accelerist had prolonged his life, most of which he spent turning lead and time to gold, turning wealthy, turning old, growing power, growing cold, a lonely road ascent. His iron will had led him on, the master his dark craft. He gave his soul to hold the world tightly in his grasp. He had it all one could want, though want on ways he'd won. Yet here he sat, and something lacked missing from his wisdom. High at noon, the bounty hunter stepped out into the street, where he had agreed at noon they would meet. He stared on ahead. His life was in a wager. Out came his man to test his dual nature. The clock would strike 12. The deed would be done. But he realized just then he'd forgotten his gun. Nine o'clock somewhere. She went to school in Germany to see what she could find. Out and about those rumored to never run behind. The landscape was amazing. Public transport was divine. With friends she took her very first voyage down the Rhine. But when she asked some citizens if they had the time, she found out why. They're never late. For some, it's always 9. This is our last one, boys and girls. A rough time. Tick-tock chirps the clock, perched upon the wall, bored face staring down at one, man in dreams enthralled. He waked up with a start, eyes haunted with fresh vision, knocked on the head, 2 minutes time. Came dark premonition, tick-tock, laughs the clock. At frightened looks around, surely some intruder hid, but he heard not a sound. 1 minute gone, and still he stood, convinced his dream was real. Though unsure where the danger lay, he knew he could feel. Tick-tock warned the clock, for time was running out. Its hand slipped slowly towards the point his dream had been about. Moment left, or was he safe? Where was the fated knock? Uncertain how much time had passed, he looked up to check the clock. The end of today's reading from Punetry. I am not 100% sure if I am pronouncing this right. I know what a pun is, and I believe it's Punetry for sure. It is Miss Reynolds with B.O.R.E.D, Better Off Reading Every Day. I do not own the rights to this book, but I do love sharing storytelling magic with you ladies and gentlemen and boys and girls on Friday, Poetry Friday. My favorite one out of this book would have to be Drained. Lying in the bathtub, he thinks nothing at all. His phone has drowned beside him, just so tired of the calls. Yes, sometimes we're tired of the calls. The calls, not just the calls on the phone, the calls of life, the calls of nature, the calls of the news, the calls of everything that's going on that just keeps calling us in some way. Sometimes, yes, we admit it. We do get tired of it all. Red eyes are glued to the belly lint. Naval navy bravely floats, despite the waves assailing it. He yearns to see it soaked. Tomorrow he will suck it in, dress slacks and parted hair. But he knows it won't be long till he comes up for air. And that's the thing. Even though we're tired of all the calls, we know that these things are not going to last forever, and we're not going to be tired of them forever. They're going to change just like life, and things are going to change, and we are going to be able to adapt to the changes and roll with the punches and go with the flow. We'll be able to do it, just like the bottom line says, but he knows it won't be long till he comes up for air. And that's what I'm saying, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes it seems like, oh, what now? But my mom has always told me, this too shall pass. And that's what the coming up for air in this book means to me. He knows that he can't be worried forever. It can't be sad forever. It can't be bad forever. We will come up for air. Just like what's going on in our lives now, we will come up for air. This too shall pass, and we will all be able to breathe again. Breathe again. And enjoy the things that we used to again. Maybe in a different way, but we will be able to come up for air, just like what they said in this book. In the one that I loved, which was, let me get it for you again. I'm sorry, boys and girls. Drained. Drained. This one. So, what I'm saying to you is whatever you're feeling might be bad, might be unpleasant, might not be what you want, but eventually it will be good. It will be what you want, and it will make you feel better, and you will be glad that you had waited till the drain passed. It just drained away. Little B.O.R.E.D Debbie and I love to read poetry to you every Friday in our pajamas, slips, toe socks, you name it. My girl right here and I are always glad to see you. So, when we've read all of our children's books all week long and we're ready to just wind down, come join us. Come hang out with us. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Better Off Reading Every Day is always ready to play. We'll see you soon. Bye.